Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for hitting the like button. If you haven't done that yet, please do it. I could use all the subscribers that I can get. We have videos coming out every day right now. Tips, tricks, all fishing related. Well, for the most part, almost all fishing related. And we'll have some tournament footage coming out here shortly. So yeah, stay tuned. Lots of good stuff coming. Today, I got a question. Today, I want to talk about a question that I got from a subscriber. And I put a video up a while ago about several of my favorite glide baits and big swim baits. And the question I got off that video was, do I ever implement them into my tournament fishing? And the answer is yes, but I don't want to put too much emphasis on that either. So, you know, big baits like this is a phony frog. I mean, you can tell that's a big 8-inch bait. I love throwing these. I love big glide baits. I love big swim baits. It's a total adrenaline rush. It's a whole different set of fishing. But come tournament time, it's not the bait that I'll start with normally. But I will tell you, I almost always have a big glide bait tied on in the tournament on one of my rods, ready to go. And you know, there's several instances when I like to throw them, and I'm going to start with practice. I do like to throw them during practice because they're really good search baits, especially for finding bigger than average size fish. So I do like to throw it in practice. It's one of those baits that you get a lot of fish to show themselves. You may not actually get them to strike, but come tournament time, I just want to know where those fish are located. So it's a really good bait in practice to throw. I've had some events in the past where, man, I struggled. I really struggled in practice. And I put on a big glide bait, and all of a sudden it was like I was on a different lake because I was having fish follow my bait every 15 minutes, you know, big, nice caliber fish. I never was able to get those fish to commit in the tournament, though, which was frustrating. But the only bait I could get them to show themselves on was a big glide bait. So I do like to throw them in practice. I do think that they help you locate fish that you can go back and either throw the same bait and hope you get them to strike at that time, or just to identify areas of the lake where you have more confidence to potentially slow down and pick it apart and hope that you're going to get one of those fish that you saw that chased your big swim bait out to commit to a different lure, a slower presentation lure. Come tournament time, there are instances when I do like to throw the bait, and when I do throw it, it's usually the first bait that I throw to an area. And the first is if I've got a specific isolated target. If I've got a specific isolated target that I think has the potential to have a big fish sitting on it, I like to throw that big glide bait through there first to see if I can get that initial reaction strike from that fish. You know, that could be a stump, it could be a big boulder, it could be a lay down tree and a single clump of grass, whatever it is, just an isolated target where you can throw one or two casts, and if there's a good one there that's ready to strike, they'll hit it right then. So I like to do it then. If I know that I am fishing a known big fish spot, I like to throw it as well. So if I've got history on a lake and I've caught 3 or 4 really nice fish off of, you know, a certain area, whether that's a drop off or a point, or again, a specific target, I like to throw it first because I know that there are big fish that utilize that spot. So that's definitely one of the times I do like to throw it. Again, going back to practice or even in the tournament, if I stumble onto a fish that I saw that's a big, nice, you know, caliber fish, if I come back to that area, a lot of times I like to throw the big glide bait to see if I can get that fish to strike. Specifically, you know, around the spawn or in the summer periods, it seems like a fish will kind of utilize a certain area, you know. So if you see a fish there, they're probably still in that general area. So you can, fish that 50-yard stretch with a glide bait relatively quickly. See if you can get that fish to commit to that big bait. So I'll do that. Of course, if I've got a really good limit already and I'm looking for a kicker, then definitely it's a good time to throw it. That's the, the only time that I feel like I'll really pick it up and kind of just stick with it is if I've got a really good limit for that lake. It could be 12 pounds on Beaver Lake. It could be 20 pounds on another lake. It just depends on how much weight I have and where I think I'm going to fall in the standings. But if I've got a big bag already, it's a very good bait to throw. And, the last thing really comes down to, again, if I know I'm fishing an area that has big fish, it's a bait that I'll throw on a lake, let's say like Lake Chickamauga. It's a bait I'll throw more on Lake Chickamauga than I will on, I don't know, like Lewis Smith Lake or something where, a 4-pound class fish is a really good fish, but there aren't as many 6 or 7 or 8 pounders. On a lake like Gunnersville or Chickamauga or, in Florida where you're dealing with a lot of really good potential for really big fish, I like to throw a big glide bait more on those lakes than I would if I was on a lake where, a 3-pounder is a really nice fish. I just feel like you'll have more big fish commit to this bait than, say 2.5 to 3 pounders. But, to sum it up, I definitely do throw them in tournaments. It's not what I would consider, one of my go-to baits, but I have very specific times when I do like to throw it. And I do think you should have one on the deck of your boat at almost all times. I mean, if you haven't experimented with a big glide bait or a big swim bait, you need to do it just for fun so you can see how many more fish will show themselves, will react to that bait. It's not, the first couple times I did it, it just blew me away. I'm like, I didn't know there were this caliber fish in this lake. Now, they don't always commit, but it gives you that best shot, in my opinion, of catching a true giant for the lake that you're on. So guys, give it a whirl. It's definitely worth throwing. I know they're expensive, but that it's worth it having 1 or 2 with you at almost all times. Try it. Let me know how it goes. Leave me a comment. If you think I'm crazy, leave me a comment. If you've caught big fish doing kind of what I said, or if there's other times you'd like to throw your swim bait, please leave a comment too. I'd love to hear if there's other specific windows that work for you guys. Otherwise, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned. We'll have more videos coming out soon.